Hello, my name is Ralph Eastman, and next to me is my daughter on my right, Rachel, on my left, Rafaela, and on the far right is Rakia. I just want to say my grandparents on my father's side was Miss Blanche Cox Eastman and Mr. James M. Eastman. They are now deceased a good while ago. And my actual parents are Nathaniel C. Eastman, who is also deceased, and my mother, Rachel Gittens Eastman, who's with us.
So, Daddy, did your father tell you stories about growing up in Crusoe or growing up in Liberia?
Yes, he told me several stories. As a little boy growing up, one that really registers with me all the time, that he does not recall which language he actually began to speak. First, English or Pele, which is a local vernacular. He was very fluent in Pele. And how he used to go, because his father died when he was a young boy, I believe, maybe 8 or 9, perhaps even younger, I don't remember right now. Go fishing the St. Paul River and stuff like that with some of the Pele children around there. And had good times.
What's your father's best qualities?
He was astute. He had a sense of humor, good sense of humor, but he was astute, and he always encouraged us to think for ourselves too.
And what are your favorite moments with your father?
My favorite moments with my father, maybe sitting around, just during leisure, drinking some beer, cracking jokes with my sisters, my other siblings, my brothers, and mama as well. Traveling, those were good moments, good memories.
How did your father feel about education, or was there any emphasis on getting an education?
Yes, he was very strict. All of us had to be educated, had to go to school. He did that. We all went to school. We all went to college, as a matter of fact. And he encouraged us. It wasn't that he was going to, get angry, but he was expected, especially back then.
Yeah.
Even now, with you guys. But go on.
With Grandpa not being a diplomat, did it have any effect on you choosing to be diplomatic relations?
Well, yes, it did. Him being a diplomat, I remember vividly as a kid, him being at the United Nations, getting ready, writing speeches and stuff. Occasionally seeing on television, I thought that would be my following. I wanted to be a diplomat, which I was able to do in the future.
And what important lessons have you learned from your parents?
Be obedient always, respectful, be able to accept criticism, especially come from your daughters, and always put your trust in God.
Yeah, that's true. So, what memories do you have of Crusoe?
I did not grow up in Crusoe, but in the early 70s when we got back to Liberia, we used to go up to Crusoe almost every weekend. Had a sugarcane farm, and your grandfather used to raise pigs.
Is that still there? The sugarcane farm?
No, the farm has been gone. It's been gone. Been gone. So have the pigs.
Did your parents have any special traditions growing up or now?
Well, the usual, we all got together, particularly during holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, sat out together, and those were good memories too, big banquet kind of thing. Yeah. And these are some questions for the three of you.
Oh gosh.
Very briefly answer. So, starting with Rachel, what do you admire most about your dad?
Okay. What I admire most about your daddy is your resilience. You always, well, from what I've seen so far, you're always able to bounce back from whatever troubles or heartache or headaches that you face, and you almost do it without too much of a whine or cry. So your resilience.
Okay. I'm sorry, it's an important question to me, so I put the same to you.
I would say you're very humble. You're a humble person, and you don't like to show off and act like you have more than you have or try to show off. And I think you instill that in us as well, to be humble and happy with what we have.
Okay. Last but not least.
That if you're worrying about someone or something and you can fix it, don't worry about it. And if you're worrying about something that you can't fix, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Then this one is for you. What's the most important lesson you've learned from your parents?
Wow. The most important lesson I've learned from my parents.
I'll take that one for her.
Go ahead.
Is to keep
So
going.
many. Yeah.
Keep going. Like, you stub your toe, keep going. You lose your job, keep going. God will give you a way. There will always be a way. You'll always find a way. And I feel like you and mommy, watching you guys always just keep going. That goes back to your resilience. But yeah, just keep going.
I would echo that too. Saying
Yeah.
keep going. And I know many times I've came to you guys like, oh, I didn't get this job. Something didn't happen, but you guys didn't let me give up. So just let me continue. There's more opportunities out there. I just need to go ahead and seek it out.
Or even if you did let me give up, give up, still said keep going and find like
Your path.
another path.
Yeah.
Like, don't just stop. Yeah.
You want to add anything?
Yeah, definitely never giving up on yourself and always have hope and faith.
Okay. And this one will start with you, Miss Rakia. Who inspires you? Who inspires you?
My family inspires me because they push me on where I want to be and where I want to go, and they really motivate me for my goal in the end, and they're always there for me when I need them, so they really make me.
Okay. We've got time, but Rafaela, like the same question. What do you know or have heard about your Liberian ancestors?
Well, from my dad's side, I've heard about us coming over from Barbados, and from my mother's side as well, coming from here, the United States, and going back home, and still trying to have a new life and start over. So that connection of crossing over from the islands to here, the United States, and then making a new life and flourishing before the war.
Okay. And this one for you, for all three of you. Discuss your favorite Liberian ways or tradition or food.
Food.
Anybody can take that first.
I'll take food, but it's easier for me to say what I don't like than my
Your
list.
favorite food.
My favorite right now. My favorite food. Sheesh, I can't even.
Sheesh.
Okay.
I would say palm butter.
Palm
butter. And see my mouth getting
Okay.
watery right now. And potato greens.
Cassava.
Cassava.
Okay.
Soy,
I'll go
okay.
with potato greens.
Potato greens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Simple.
They're all great foods.
Tradition that I like about Liberia, I think also with African countries, is making sure the family is connected. So you don't branch out, you still keep in contact with your grandparents, your parents, your aunts, still making it like your family unit.
Yeah.
Also, the Grand March at weddings.
Okay.
Okay. And I got a final couple of questions because of time. Now, to discuss your education or career and life for you in the U.S., starting with Rakia, since you're the youngest.
I just recently graduated high school, and now I'm starting my first year in college, and definitely making sure my education is first, especially for my dad. He went to school and taught me that, school and getting your degree is really important to be successful. So definitely working on that.
Good answer.
Once more, I'll echo for Q, going to school and my dad. He has his master, but he doesn't boast about what he has or what he's done. And that also helped encourage me to go on to get my master's as well. And seeing like the sky is not the limit.
Okay, well, so I didn't follow the educational route, but I am pursuing hair, makeup, soon to be to the stars, and I'm thriving in that, I would say, in my opinion. So that's the route I went, would be an independent entrepreneur.
She got her
Yes.
career in cosmetology.
Yes,
So-
book me.
And last but not the least, yo, what do you do to keep yourself centered?
Well,
I don't listen to people.
yeah.
Sometimes I'm selfish in my act and my mindset because some people say stuff that haven't had that lived experience. So me knowing that like I shouldn't be limited from what someone's saying if they haven't had that experience in life, I can do my own path, try it. If I mess up, then that's also a learning experience.
Yes, I would agree with that. Our parents, even though they probably wouldn't admit it or notice it, but they've taught us to be very hard-headed and stubborn. So even
Yes.
when that's like probably a con to them for us, but they've taught us in a way to be free thinkers and just do our own thing, even if they disagree with it. I feel like there's some way they have faith in our reasoning and that know that we're gonna come back and
And he will they'll always be here for us.
yeah. So, but what I do is like meditate, sleep on it, just like get away from any drama, whether it's family or friends, just meditate and come to myself. But I've recently started looking to God for help.
Good.
To keep myself centered, I usually pray, cry, scream,
Crying is a good
be
one.
alone.
Yeah. Alone time is important.
Okay. And this more or less comes to the end of this little documentary, but I would be remiss if I don't ask my wife, because she's in the background. Can you please come forward so at least you can be part of this family, which you are? This is my darling wife, Grace. She's part of our family. I just wanted to make sure she's included, so you can say hi.
Hi everybody, my name is Grace Chuchu Eastman.
Yeah.
I'm Raphael lovely wife.
Ooh, lovely. Okay.
Okay.
Well, thanks for having our dad on.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.